I usually don't perform with my glasses on because the glare is a bit weird. And I never carry anything. I never read off a piece of paper. And the stuff I do is, until now, completely original. But I want to go off that for a couple of reasons, because people tonight have read poetry and they've read stuff out of the ordinary, and I gotta be honest, I'm jealous. One of the best poets I ever read was a guy named James Dickey. Anybody recognize the name? James Dickey. Ever see the movie Deliverance? Yeah, okay, but you know the general theme. Guys go down a river in the middle of Georgia. They get attacked by hillbillies. Yeah. Good movie, terrifying movie. The book is very poetic. It's kind of hard to describe. And he was actually an award-winning poet. And it's interesting because he was a horrible, horrible human being. He was the kind of guy, he was in World War II. He never went overseas, but he would go to reunions of pilots who flew in Japan and convince them that he was there and end up playing the piano and getting free drinks. He was a horrible human being on so many different levels, but he wrote this transcendent stuff. My dad was a Baptist church elder. I was raised in the Baptist church. I always associate this poem with something that is good out of that experience. I mean, nothing terrible happened to me out of that church, but one of the ministers my father really respected got defrocked because he was sleeping with the people he was marriage counseling. Yep. Oh, everybody. There was a large... He had done this for months. It was a very ecumenical approach. And when I found this out, I thought it was hysterically funny, but I also thought my father is very aware of the fact he has backed the wrong horse. And it kind of killed me. This poem reminds me of that environment, sacred and profane next to each other. One of the people who was a Sunday school teacher of mine was a very, very decent person, and then he keeled over playing tennis suddenly. And I thought of this poem. My aunt passed away a few years ago, and I read this at her funeral. And my sister said, "I have never heard anybody read James Dickey at a funeral." I said, "You've only read Deliverance." So this is called Reading Genesis to a Blind Child. I'm hiding beside you to tell you what the world itself cannot show, that you walk with an untold sight beyond the best reach of my light. Try as you can to bear with me as I struggle to see what you see and to be born of the language I speak. Claw, feather, fur, and beak, from a land that a cloud out of hell must drown, but for you, my second-born son, the sheep like your mother's coat, the bear, the bird, and the goat come forth, and the cunning serpent I'm holding, my right arm bent, that you might take hold of the curve of round, warm skin that must serve for evil. And now on breathing I take a pin for the tooth of the snake. You gravely touch it and smile, not at me, but at the world where you sit in the blaze of a book, where lion and eagle and snake represented by pillow and pin, by feathers from hats and thin gull wings and paper loosed from pages my fingers have traced. With the forms of free-flying birds, and these are the best of my words, if I were to ask you now to touch the bright lid of my eye, might I not see what you see? Would my common brain not turn to untellable vision and burn with the vast creative color of dark and the serpent hidden forever in the trembling right arm of your father? Can you take this book and bring it to life with a look, and I can tell you how I have made your world, and know no more than I have known, the beasts that smelled the rain, yet none have wailed for fear. You touch me, I am here. The hand has passed through my head, and this is the hand of the Lord, and I have called forth the world in a word, and I am shut from the thing I have made. I have loosed the grim wolf on the sheep, and yet your original deep of your innocence, they lie down together. Upon each beast is a crown of patience, immortal and bright, in which is God-pleasing delight, and your grace is forbidden. And I am remembering Eden as you sit and play with a sword of fire made of a word. And I call through the world's saving gate, each word creating your light, all things in patient tones. birds, beasts, and flowering stones. In each new word, something new. The world cannot yet show all the earthly things I have led upon your touch, and I've been fed thus upon the darkness that bore them, by which they most mightily shine, and shall never know vision from sight, nor light from the source of all light. The sun is made to be hidden, and the meeting and prospect of Eden to go blind as a stone until touched, and the ship in a greenwood beach to not rise through those trees on a smoke of rain until that flood break, and the sun go out in a cloud, and a voice we make it aloud, striving most gently to bring a fit word to everything, and to come onto the thing that it is seeking within its speaking. Speaking. Thank you. Yes.